songs a lot. So I was like, I'm gonna blast Taylor Swift songs together, stuff like that. So definitely know the school you're applying to.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Detail.
Liberal arts. Sorry,
Yes.
I did not mean to interrupt you.
No. Yeah, let's move on.
Yes, liberal arts colleges versus universities. Now, what is the difference? I think the most common misconception is that liberal arts means arts. It does not. There are physics majors in my school, there are engineering majors, there are math majors. Liberal arts is essentially for people who don't really know what they're doing or don't know going into it. So it's not just, so for instance, UChicago has a liberal arts program, Dartmouth University has a liberal arts program, blah, blah, blah. So Wellesley, for instance, is a liberal arts school. And all this means is that you don't need to declare your major until you're at the end of your sophomore year. So I need to declare my major as an international relations political science major only next semester. So if I change my mind between now and then, that's okay. I'm allowed to do that. I applied to college as an English major. I am visibly not an English major anymore. And liberal arts schools are okay with that, and you do have certain distribution requirements. So I went into college and I had to take math. I have to take 2 science classes within my 4 years. I have to do 2 language classes within my 4 years. So essentially liberal arts is more all encompassing and basically says it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. We don't think you should know what you want to do. And we're going to give you 2 extra years to figure that out, where you can dabble in whatever whatever you're interested in. Now, universities have specific colleges in them. So I'm going to take NYU as an example. So with NYU, they have their Stern School of Business, their Cass School of Arts and Sciences. They have their Tandon School for Computer Science, Tisch for Drama and the Arts. So the thing is, with a university, you should know what you're doing or like what you're going to get into. So for NYU, for instance, if you apply as a business major in Stern, while you can take classes in other schools, you cannot switch your major out of a major that is offered in Stern School. So I have friends that are there and they're doing business or finance or entrepreneurship and management or marketing. But if they wake up and decide they want to do drama, they cannot. If you're doing drama and then you decide you want to do, I don't know, theoretical physics, you cannot go to the College of Arts and Sciences. You are doing drama. So I think it's definitely, liberal arts schools are for people who are not, and it's not just for people who don't know what you're doing. You can also know what you're doing and go to a liberal arts school, but they provide a little more flexibility, in my opinion, and they're generally smaller schools. So my largest class this semester was 16 people, which is great because I had a lot of individual interaction with my professor. It's basically a smaller environment, a less crazy environment. I think parents might like this when I say that most of them, if not all of them, are really not party schools. So, I think that's pacifying to most. But even universities, for instance, the College of Arts and Sciences is generally all encompassing. You can do physics or you can do, I don't know, economics. I have friends, I keep using NYU as an example. I will try to change that later. But I have friends in Cass who are doing English. I also have friends who are doing economics. I also have friends who are doing, biology and global health, and they're all in the same school. So if you're vaguely certain that you're doing something in creative, whatever the colleges of arts and sciences, definitely, obviously I would say apply to both. But, if you're kind of unsure and you go into business and then you realize midway that actually you want to do something else, it's a little hard. So, make sure you know.
Okay, so also why did you choose Wellesley College? Like, let's answer it in short so that we can also get to some questions from the.
Yes. Okay. So I chose Wellesley. I was not actually really thinking of Wellesley until I did college tours in 11th to 12th grade summer. So I spent, I think, a month in the US. I went to colleges physically. I walked around the campuses, asked questions during the, and Wellesley was something that was in the area because we were in Boston, and my dad was like, "Hey, didn't Hillary Clinton go there? Let's check it out." And I said, "Okay, cool." We checked it out. I ended up loving it. So I would say while college tours, especially right now, is hard, Virtual college tours are great. You can go online, you can look around. Their websites are generally super comprehensive. If you have questions, just hit up somebody from the admissions office. They're more than happy to answer any questions. I found that personalized experience was really valuable to me. And I thought, so Wellesley, if I did not mention earlier, is actually a women's college. So it was definitely a different experience. I was like, yeah, do I really want to do this? But I loved the college so much when I visited that I was like, okay, I absolutely want to apply here. And they also have a cross-registration program with MIT. So I thought that was really valuable because if I wanted to take, for instance, classes in their Sloan School of Business, which I'm doing next semester, I could do that and meet interesting people from there too. So that is why I chose Wellesley. Yeah.
Yeah, the MIT thing is also a really good advantage, definitely. And also, did you have a college counselor?
I did have a college counselor, yes.
And like,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so what do you think about having a college counselor? Do you recommend it, or just having a school counselor, or just singular appointments with the college counselor here and there?
Okay, so my college counselor ended up throwing me off course a little bit towards the end of it. I left a little disappointed. I was a little upset with the way things were handled, very honestly, but I definitely did benefit from the amount of knowledge that the private college counselors know. So the thing is that because they've done it so many times, she took care of filling out basic information on my Common App, took care of, helping me figure out schools that I wanted to go to, setting targets for the kind of scores I should be looking for or looking to get, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that most school counselors, if you foster a good enough relationship with them where you go to enough meetings, blah, 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 can do the same thing. So while I say that they are beneficial, there are some that will really suck because the thing about private counselors is they want a high application to acceptance ratio. So they're going to push you to apply to schools that they're going to discourage you from applying to schools that are dream schools when in reality you should definitely shoot your shot. If you miss, you miss. That's okay. But if you get in, that's great. But private counselors are going to tell you, oh, don't apply here, like apply here. This is actually a better school for you. And they're going to try to convince you that that's real, when in reality, it just might not be. And you need to realize that for them, it's also about the statistics that'll market them as better college counselors, because then they can say, oh, this person applied to 7 schools and got into 6. The reason why is because, maybe they discouraged them from applying to 8 or 9, which could have been better for them. So remember that, but they also do have benefits, but they're not, again, an absolute necessity.
All right. Yeah, that definitely gave me a lot more insight into this whole debate over college counselors. And so let's move on to the next slide, which is college life.
Yes. Okay. This is a really colorful slide. And the reason is, okay, so the first 2 pictures are pictures of my college. Second picture with the flowers is a picture of the big little ceremony. So at Wellesley, they give you a big, which is basically like a big sister that helps you through the process, which was fun. There's a picture of snow. We also had a Mehendi event for Diwali. So I was one of the artists. I was a little bad, but they did not know any better because most of them were not Indian. So that was okay. So lots of cultural things. We had diya painting that day, which was fun. Another picture with the peace signs aggressively is my debate society photo. So I am part of the debate club in college. So this was one of the tournaments we had. We were all on Zoom, but we were on Zoom together. So it was okay. I've held picnics with my friends. We had Holi, and the final picture is a picture of my friends who threw me a surprise party for my 19th birthday. So college is a lot of fun. I loved it. I love it a lot more than I enjoyed high school. I think it's a lot less stressful. People are a lot more easygoing. I'm a part of like 9 clubs. I'm the president of one of them. I'm on the boards of multiple. It's a great experience. It's awesome. And I've realized that no matter where you end up, everyone's happy to be there. Everyone's super helpful. people are a lot less like catty and competitive. They're more likely to want to help you. I personally thought that the teachers were really nice in college, and it was so disconcerting to be able to walk into a classroom potentially a little late and not have them scream at you. That was crazy. But things like that. What my point is that college is really fun and I love it. And if you have any specific questions about college, definitely ask me, because the thing about college is I didn't even realize that I didn't want to do English. I walked into college thinking I was going to do English, and first semester I took a political science class, and I was like, hey, this is something I've never done before and I love it. So a lot of things, the reason I say don't fixate on what you want to do in the future is because I genuinely changed what I was planning on doing in December of 2020. And I was in college, and that's okay, because you're going to be I don't know, in the general area of so many different, I think 1,000 different classes you can choose from. There's particle physics, there's AI and psychology, there is global health and geography. There's all these different intersections between classes that you can take that are super, super interesting. I have friends that went in thinking they were doing cognitive science and are now doing women and gender studies. Like, it could be anything, but don't decide what you are going to do now, because it will kind of change a little bit here and there. And if you don't know, that is okay.
Yes, totally. And like, don't stress about college is what I've learned through the session.
Absolutely.
Like, it is fun and it's an experience, and life just keeps moving, it keeps moving, things change. The only constant in life is change. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
you cannot fix things like, okay, I'm going to be doing a desk job when I am this many years old. So it's really about how you just, the whole journey, enjoy it and be happy is
Absolutely.
what I've learned.
Yes.
Yes. So this is great. And does anybody have any specific questions? I saw a few questions in chat, so let's start answering those. Like somebody asked, what is the process of publishing a research paper? If you know it.
High school?
Yes, in high school.
Okay, so I personally did not publish any research papers in high school, but I do have friends who did. But I think with the limited knowledge that I know that they did, they were generally affiliated with programs and courses that they were doing. So for science, it was like certain science labs that are in India or in Bangalore that they would go to, and then professors would publish for them. So the professors would be their advisors, and they would just have to write their research paper like any other research paper. And if we're talking about science in particular, these labs would take them forward. So I don't know anybody that independently published a research paper without having an external, like a general umbrella that helped them through that process.
Okay, yes, that makes sense. You need some sort of guide, like a mentor. So you need to reach out to some sort of professor. And also another question is, I don't see any questions. Does anybody have any questions? You can ask specific questions related to college essays and, oh yes, there's one question. How do you start with extracurricular activities?
Okay, that is a good question. I think the whole thing that I've been trying to drill down is introspection and how important that is in your college process. And I think the best way to kind of figure out what you want to do or what you want to do extracurricularly is pick your passions. So pick something that you're interested in. If it's English and public speaking, do Model UN, do debate, do speech. If it's theater, do theater. If it's music, go to classes, start a channel, TikToks, Reels, whatever it is, build a base, work on that. So I would say sit down, create like a little list for yourself and write down things that you're interested in or things that you're passionate about. It could be a mental health thing if you or someone you know has struggled with depression or anxiety and you want to talk about it. Create an Instagram account. Go to your school and ask if you can hold an event. Go to other schools and collaborate with student council members and have a general school event, which I think is easier now than one would think because of Zoom and the access. Do all those fun little things. Make sure that you're interested in something. Sit down, figure out what to do from there. And I would say start working on extracurriculars as soon as possible, because the sooner you start, the more of that extracurricular you can do, and the more consistency and dedication to it you can prove that you have.
Yeah,